Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we unpack your sources to get to the heart of complex ideas. Today, we're peeling back the layers on a surprisingly powerful emotion: admiration. You might think it's a simple, purely good feeling, but as we dive into a fascinating collection of articles and research, you'll discover it has surprising depths, incredible upsides, and even some hidden dangers.
That's right. Our mission for you today is really to move beyond a superficial understanding. We'll explore its philosophical roots, its profound psychological impact, both on individuals and relationships.
Okay.
And how it can fundamentally shape your moral compass and even your sense of self. We've got some truly thought-provoking material here.
Okay, let's start at the beginning then. What is admiration, really? I mean, how does it relate to all those other strong feelings we experience every day? When we feel that positive spark towards someone, we often just label it admiration and, lump it in with other good vibes. But our sources highlight some really crucial distinctions.
Yeah, that's right. It helps clarify what we're actually feeling. One piece of research classifies admiration as part of a group called other praising emotions.
Other praising.
Right. These are different from, say, simple joy, because they're focused outward, on someone else's positive qualities.
Oh, okay.
So within this group, you find elevation, which is a response to moral excellence, like seeing someone do something incredibly kind.
Right, moral excellence.
Then there's gratitude, which is obviously about someone benefiting you. And then admiration itself, which typically stems from witnessing someone's exceptional skill or talent.
So if I see an incredible athlete perform, like a gravity-defying dunk, that's admiration, pure skill.
Exactly.
But if I see someone perform an extraordinary act of kindness or generosity, that might be elevation. How do those really feel different, though?
Well, precisely. The research even points to distinct physical sensations. While elevation might bring a warm feeling in the chest, maybe a sense of calm openness, admiration is often associated with chills or tingles and a feeling of energization. It's almost like your body is getting ready to, emulate what you've just witnessed.
That's a subtle, but wow, a powerful difference. It feels distinct because it is distinct. Okay.
Yeah.
But what about emotions often confused with admiration, like envy or jealousy? They certainly aren't warm and tingly.
No, definitely not. And this brings up an important point, especially considering a popular discussion our sources mention about the character Envy in a recent animated film.
Right, I remember that.
Envy is typically about wanting something someone else has. Now, this can be negative, obviously, leading to resentment, or it can even be benign, sort of driving you to improve yourself.
Okay.
Jealousy, on the other hand, is generally a fear of losing something you already possess, often in a relationship context.
Right, the fear aspect.
Exactly. Admiration is distinct from both. It focuses on respecting or regarding the person themselves, not just their possessions or what you might lose because of them. You can admire someone's courage without wanting to be them or have their specific life. You simply respect them for that quality they embody.
Okay, that clarifies things a lot. So once we understand what admiration truly is, how does this multifaceted emotion become a real force for good in our lives? The sources really emphasize its potent upsides.
Yeah, admiration isn't just a pleasant feeling. It plays a critical role in how we understand and judge the world, especially morally.
How so?
Well, one perspective suggests that emotions like admiration can actually be reasons for our actions, particularly if we reflect on them afterwards. It's like an efficient way to gain understanding because it gives us quick access to what's valuable, often sort of emotionally anticipating a moral judgment before we even fully articulate it.
So it's almost like an intuitive flash, a gut check, but one you can later verify with thought. Can you give us an example of how that works in real life?
Sure. Imagine two colleagues, let's call them M and T. They're both applying for a competitive grant. M is really worried about her application, and T, seeing her concern, offers to send M his own successful project as a template.
Okay, nice gesture.
Right. M feels immediate admiration and gratitude, instantly judging T as generous. Later, though, M can reflect. Okay, wait. Was T really generous, or was he maybe showing off? Do I have good, non-emotional reasons to believe he's genuinely generous?
The verification step.
Exactly. This deeper thought process leads to a justified moral judgment. Yes, actually, T is genuinely generous. That initial admiration, that intuitive flash, it started and motivated this entire journey of understanding T's character.
That makes so much sense. It's like the spark that lights the fire for deeper understanding.
Yeah.
And it's not just about judging others, is it? This powerful emotion can profoundly influence our own path, maybe even who we become.
Absolutely. Admiration can be truly transformative. There's a philosopher, L.A. Paul, who discusses transformative experiences.
Transformative experiences.
Yeah, things which fundamentally change the experience of who one is and teach you something genuinely new that you couldn't possibly have known before experiencing it. She talks about choices like becoming a parent or other radical life changes.
Right, you can't really know what it's like until you're in it.
Precisely. You can't rationally evaluate what your future transformed self will value because you haven't lived it yet. You're in a state of epistemic poverty regarding that future self.
Okay, epistemic poverty. So how does admiration fit into those really big, unknowable life choices?
Well, in these situations where direct knowledge isn't possible beforehand, admiring someone who has already made that choice can be a unique way to access some kind of moral insight. It provides a sort of bridge reason to begin a personal transformation.
A bridge reason.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Consider someone leading a very, maybe self-absorbed life, let's call them this. S encounters a colleague, M, who volunteers at a local shelter. S starts to develop admiration for M, perhaps mixed with some shame about their own lifestyle. This admiration helps S gradually appreciate M's altruistic way of living. It provides a pathway, a motivation, to a potential complete transformation of S's own reasons for action, moving them towards something they couldn't have grasped rationally before.
Okay, here's where it gets really powerful.
Yeah.
So admiration isn't just about individual transformation. It can actually reshape our most important relationships and even how we lead. It sounds like a bit of a social superpower.
It truly can be. In close relationships, especially marriage, actively nurturing admiration is actually key to long-term happiness. Research shows that happy marriages are built on a fundamentally positive view of one's spouse.
Positive view.
Right. And this is vital because, well, think about it. In most homes, negative interactions can actually outnumber positive ones by a pretty shocking ratio. Sometimes 5 or even 20 negative to 1 positive interaction.
Wow, 20 to 1. That's a huge gap to bridge.
It really is.
So when daily life can be so draining, what are the practical strategies to actually nurture this vital admiration? How do you keep that positive view alive?
Well, our sources offer 4 key strategies. First, remember what attracted you in the first place. Sounds simple, but couples who put a positive spin on their shared past are apparently 94% more likely to have a positive future. It helps rekindle that initial spark.
Okay, remember the good times. Makes sense.
Second, actively write down what you respect about your partner today, with specific examples of their traits, behaviors, maybe recent successes. This makes your appreciation concrete and, well, visible.
Get specific. I like that.
Third, see through a charitable lens, especially when you're upset or in conflict. Instead of jumping to negative conclusions about their motives, try to find maybe 3 charitable explanations for their actions. This builds goodwill and stops negativity from just spiraling.
Assume good intentions, even when it's hard.
Okay.
And fourth,
praise your partner in public. This not only builds them up and helps them feel valued, but it also has the effect of reinforcing your own positive feelings about them. You hear yourself saying it, and it resonates.
that's fantastic practical advice. Really useful. And this concept, it goes beyond personal relationships too, right? You mentioned leadership. Our sources suggest a pretty powerful shift in perspective there.
Yes, absolutely. Traditionally, leaders strive to be admired by their teams. They think, if my team admires me, they'll trust me, they'll work hard. And that's true to an extent.
Sure, seems logical.
But exceptional leaders, according to this research, take a bold step further. They believe it's actually more important for them to admire their team.
Wait, the leader should admire the team? That seems counterintuitive.
It does initially, but think about the impact. When leaders genuinely admire their skills, their effort, their potential, and they express it, it unleashes empowerment. It makes team members feel genuinely valued, seen for their strengths, and it motivates them to reach their full potential. It creates this two-way street of mutual respect that can propel the team to achieve really remarkable things.
A two-way street. I like that framing.
And practical tips for this include things like consistently recognizing achievements, really focusing on individual strengths rather than just weaknesses, and providing clear opportunities for growth and development. Show them you believe in them.
So whether it's personal or professional, expressing admiration, genuine admiration, seems to be a huge part of cultivating these positive dynamics. And we even have some specific advice on how to do that well, say, when giving praise for creative work, like praising a writer.
Yeah, that's a great actionable example of specific admiration in practice. The advice really centers on authenticity and genuine engagement. It's not just saying, good job.
Right.
It includes being specific. For instance, my favorite part is when you did X and pinpointing exactly what you enjoyed, then explaining why you liked something. I love this part because it made me think about why, which goes much deeper than a surface level comment.
Okay, the why is important.
Very. It's also important to acknowledge the effort the writer put in, because creative work is rarely easy, right?
Definitely not.
And finally, maybe asking questions about their process or how their work made you think differently. It shows genuine interest and helps the creator feel truly seen and understood, not just complimented, but seen.
Okay, so we've covered the significant upsides. But while admiration clearly has incredible power for good, like any powerful force, it also has a darker, more dangerous side. Our sources don't shy away from highlighting this shadow.
Indeed. And it's crucial we look at this too. One contributing writer recounts a really powerful line from an anime where a villain states that admiration is the emotion furthest from understanding.
Furthest from understanding.
Wow.
That's provocative.
It is. And this is the core of what the author refers to as blind admiration, which they essentially equate with pedestalization.
Pedestalization. Putting someone on a pedestal, that sounds like a sign of respect, maybe even love, so what's so dangerous about it?
Well, when you blindly admire someone, you run two main significant risks. First, you create a misrepresentation of identity. You essentially erase their flaws, you simplify their complex identity, and you perceive them as almost perfect.
You ignore the messy bits.
Exactly. This undercuts their struggles, their vices, the very things that make them human and relatable. Second, this misrepresentation leads directly to a false sense of security.
How so?
Well, if someone is perfect, the logic goes, they can do no wrong, right? So this fosters inherent trust, just automatic trust, even if that trust is entirely undeserved based on their actual character or actions.
And that's where a dangerous power dynamic can really emerge, with potentially devastating consequences.
Precisely. Blind admiration willingly grants power to authority figures. Think mentors, coaches, professors, maybe even just older, respected figures in a community. While genuine respect has to be earned through consistent, positive actions.
Right, earned.
Blind admiration submits freely with much less critique or questioning. It just gives the benefit of the doubt constantly. This leaves the admired individual in a position where they can, unfortunately, abuse that unquestioning trust.
And this isn't just theoretical.
No, not at all. It might not always be as dramatic as a fictional betrayal, but abuses of power, both emotional and practical, are surprisingly common when this kind of blind trust is present. It's why the source strongly suggests evaluating people more closely, more critically, before granting them your full, unexamined admiration. Don't just give it away freely.
So how do we navigate this complex emotion then? How do we harness its positive power, which is clearly substantial, while consciously avoiding its potential pitfalls? It seems to bring us back to the crucial role of reflection and integrity.
Exactly. We talked earlier about that initial gut check of admiration needing to be verified, right?
Yeah.
How does that connect to what we've just learned about blind admiration and its dangers?
Well, it seems it's about consciously engaging with your emotions and not letting them just run the show unchecked. That initial feeling of admiration does provide a good, maybe a prima facie reason to trust your judgment. It's a starting point.
Okay, a starting point.
But then you absolutely must critically ask yourself, does the admired person truly possess the qualities my emotion is attributing to them? Do I have good, solid, non-emotional reasons to support this judgment? This is where you scrutinize your assumptions, you question them, you look for consistency with other beliefs or emotions you hold. For instance, the source asks, would your admiration for a historical figure, even someone widely revered at one point, hold up against your compassion for the weak or your anger about injustice? If there's a conflict there, then your initial admiration might need some serious reevaluation.
Right. And what does this mean for our own integrity? It sounds like it challenges us to be incredibly honest with ourselves, which isn't always comfortable.
It really does. And that's a great question. Integrity in this context isn't about rigidly holding on to past beliefs or being perfectly consistent no matter what. That's not it.
Okay, so not rigidity.
No. Instead, it's described more as a dynamic set of virtues, a commitment to getting it morally right, which involves balancing consistency with yourself with an acceptance of your own fallibility. The fact that you can be wrong, and the possibility of growth, of perfectibility.
So accepting you might need to change your mind.
Exactly. It means being willing to revise even your deepest convictions if you suspect they are rooted in some kind of moral error. One source provocatively suggests that true integrity can actually require the dismantling of old ways of thinking to allow for genuine growth and a more sound moral compass. You have to break things down to build something better.
Wow. So it's really about being open to change, even when it's deeply uncomfortable, in order to grow into a more well-informed and morally sound person. That's a very powerful idea.
It really is. We've truly taken a deep dive into admiration today, haven't we? Exploring its complex psychological mechanisms, its incredible capacity to inspire self-improvement and stronger relationships, and also the critical need to approach it with thoughtful reflection to avoid its very real dangers.
Yeah, we've seen how emotions like admiration can precede and motivate our moral judgments, offering quick access to value, which is useful. But that this initial access must always be open to scrutiny. It can't be the final word.
Right.
It really challenges us to reflect, to embrace a dynamic view of integrity, not a fixed one, and to continually reevaluate not only who we admire, but maybe more importantly, how we admire them.
So thinking about all this, what stands out to you, the listener? Perhaps next time you feel that surge of admiration, you might just pause for a second and ask, is this feeling a potential springboard for my own growth? Or is it maybe a potential blind spot?
Yeah, how can you ensure this admiration is building you up, making you better, rather than setting yourself up for disappointment, or worse, allowing for an abuse of trust down the line?
It's clear admiration is far from a simple emotion.
Absolutely. It's a dynamic force with profound implications for how we understand others, how we build our relationships, and ultimately how we shape our own moral lives.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep thinking deeply and questioning everything.